Yes. Just looking at this, right. These constitutional, what do they call it again? Where the military's involved in civilian life? Yeah. Now I think I'm on screen print 28. Yes. And well, I got plenty of time. Yeah. Now, constitutional consideration. What specifically are the military law enforcement activities? Now, expressly authorized in the Constitution. Yeah. Just looking at Section 2, the President. Yeah. Shall be Commander in Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when called into actual service of the United States. Now, he may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. Yeah. Now, impeachment's a really important word. Pooch. Now, let's say, okay, the president's sitting there, Christmas evening. Yes. Well, why don't you write me up an opinion about the Secretary of the Department of Defense allowing for the detainment of any American citizen in any mental facility? Yes. And then the restoration of their sanity that they had not lost? Yes. Now, as an opinion of the Department of Defense, considering the 50,000 emails to CID? Yes. And the Advocate Judge General's Corps of Attorneys that all belong to bar associations? Yes. All have attorney oaths? Yes. All have enlisted in the all volunteer army? Yes. Let's get a opinion, yes, from the Department of Defense from each Secretary of the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, and the Marines about these offenses against the United States of America. Yeah. Where you don't enforce the requirements of the VAWA. You don't enforce the actual laws of the RCWs. Yes. You don't enforce the Parental Kidnapping Protection Act. Yes. You don't enforce the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction Enforcement Act. Yes. You don't enforce the actual requirements for the enrollment of children in school. Now, he, the president, shall have power. Oh, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, yes, to make these treaties, provided two-thirds of the senators are present concur. Now he can nominate, okay, and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, ambassadors. Now I know the U.S. likes their embassies in foreign nations, but just give me all the employees of every embassy where I have the legal right to sue the federal government if for the refusal to enforce the guarantees of the Constitution, because I'd like to have those embassies for myself, and I'll kick the government right the fuck out of every one of them right now. Choo 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 choo. I'll turn them into hotels. Now these embassies, yeah, where you have ambassadors that are all oaths of office. Isn't that right, Miss Powers? Yes. I went through all the ambassadors that had all sworn, when appointed to be an ambassador of the United States, that they would support and defend this Constitution. And I just want the last 40 years of employees of every embassy that has worked with every ambassador in every nation of the world, because I'll sue you for the actual ownership of all the embassies. I'll renovate them, put them back to their original condition when they were first built, and I'll rent them out as business offices. Now, you think I won't? I will. The United States won't have an embassy anywhere in the fucking world.